Welcome back, Duelists. I got another little spooktacular deck here for you. Today I got a nice little Darkworld build for you. So let's get into this fun build. First thing we're going to be running, 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 2 copies Beige Vanguard of Darkworld, 3 copies, wait, there it is, 3 copies Brow, the Huntsman of Darkworld. We're going to run 3 copies of Gold, the Woo Lord of Darkworld, 3 copies Grapha, Dragon Lord of Darkworld, 3 copies Silva, the Warlord of Darkworld, and 3 copies Snow, Unlight of Darkworld. Spells are going to be pretty basic. We're going to have a Called by the Grave in here. We're going to have Card Destruction. We're going to have 3 copies of Darkworld Dealings. We're going to be running 3 copies of Darkworld Lightning. We are going to have Monster Reborn in here. I decided I wanted to try out Pot of Extravagance since I managed to pull 3 copies out of the 2020 Mega Tin. I got my 1 Terraforming, my 2 copies Gates of the Dark World, and then my 5 traps are going to be 3 copies Dark World Brainwashing and 2 copies Deck Devastation Virus. And I know what you guys are thinking. Why isn't this as competitive as you guys know it can be? Because this one's a fun build. Nothing more. And the extra deck really doesn't matter too much. Everything is, it's in here because it's not terrible, but it's in here for the Pot of Extravagance. I want to play more off of the main deck than I want the extra decks. I mean, I still have the Abyss Dweller. We put Adrius, Keeper of Armageddon in here. We got Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand. We got number 61 Volcasaurus. Number 101, the Silent Honor Arc. We got Tyrus, the Keeper of Genesis. 2 copies Cerberus, 2 copies Phoenix, 1 copy Unicorn, 2 copies Underclock Taker, and 2 copies Wee Witch. So if you guys enjoy these decks, or whatever, maybe leave a comment down there. Say a deck that you'd like. After next week, we're going to be back to doing just all types of decks, not just Halloween stuff. So that ought to be fun. And if you were just here for the deck list, obviously you guys are good to go. I'm going to go over the strategy now. And we're just going to start back with the extra deck because, again, it doesn't matter too much. So, again, I just chose basic plays. This is because Snow and Beige are both 4s. Silva and Gold happen to be rank 5s for the rank 5 plays. Double Grapha can get you to Felgrand. And that's really all that is. And then it's just decent links. Again, nothing too spectacular. It's a fun deck. So, in the main deck, everybody knows Ash Blossom stops interactions with the deck now. Beige is got the basic Dark World effect for a bunch of our guys, and that is if it's discarded from the hand to the graveyard by a card effect, it gets special summoned back to my side of the field. This is actually pretty awesome, and we did use 1 card in here just to kind of brick our opponents through looping these effects. Brow. If he's discarded by a card effect, I draw a card. If it happens to be an opponent's card effect, I draw 2 cards. Pretty self-explanatory. Gold, same thing. If discarded by a card effect, special summon it. If an opponent's card effect, special summon it and select up to 2 cards on my opponent's side of the field and destroy them. Graph is actually pretty awesome, so we're going to read this one verbatim. You can special summon this from the graveyard by returning 1 face-up Dark World monster you control from the field to the hand, except another copy of Grapha. If this card is discarded to the graveyard by a card effect, target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy that target. Then if it was discarded from the hand by an opponent's card effect, you may also look at 1 random card in their hand, and then if it was a monster, you may special summon that to your side as well. So he's got a lot of synergy with being able to come back. And he's just a really cool card and just looks amazing. Look at that. Yeah. Alright, Silva. Same effect as Gold, except when it's the opponent's card effect. You can target exactly 2 cards your opponent controls from their hand and place those on the bottom of their deck in any order. So where Gold will take out the field, Silva will take out the hand, which is awesome. Snow's a little weird. Snow actually doesn't summon itself. If it's discarded by a card effect, then you can add one Darkworld card from your deck to your hand. And if it was an opponent's card, you could do that and then also target one monster in their graveyard and then special summon that target as well. So it doesn't really summon herself, but she does get you the search, and that's pretty important in this build. Spells, Called by the Grave, stop your hand traps. Card Destruction, generic, destroy your opponent's hand, try to get those hand traps out of there. If your opponent doesn't have a hand, this is just all advantage for you. Both players discard their entire hands, it's considered an effect, and then draw the same number of cards that they discarded. And I have definitely, earlier tonight, I played this twice, and the second time I played it, I actually ended up discarding Silva, Gold, and Grapha. So I was able to destroy one card due to Grapha's effect, summon the other two, then bounce one, put Grapha right back on the board. It was fun. Darkworld Dealing is their original draw card, so each player draws a card, then discards a card, and again, if your opponent doesn't have a hand, you're just really attacking their deck at this point, and if they drew into a hand trap, they're kind of SOL, because it's just going to go away to the discard pile. Darkworld Lightning, pretty basic card, and this is one of the ways that you know that this is just like a funsy build. You do get to target one face-down card on the field, destroy it, and then as an effect, discard one card. So you can help clear up the back row. Still helps with things like Solemn Strike running around. Altergeists have a lot of back row. Not so good against like Paleozoic or anything right now, but some decks are requiring some set cards, so you try to smoke those. And you can also get a monster if it's face down. Reborn, pretty basic. Extravagance was something that was fun to play around with. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be using this in like just fun decks. I think I'm going to reserve this for when I build competitively. So this has to be like the first card you play during your turn. So at the start of your main phase 1, banish either 3 or 6 random face down cards from the extra deck, banishing them face down. Draw 1 card for every 3 cards banished. For the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you may not draw any cards by card effects. Now, that's not terrible. And I do have one deck I want to play this in before the end of the month. So it's going to be more fun there because of the wording. But this does hurt some of our strategy because our field spell does let us draw. The Card Destruction lets us draw. Brow lets us draw. And Darkworld Dealings lets us draw. So not being able to draw is kind of a drawback. I did this, though, because I didn't want to run the allures and just start banishing the cards. And I really just wanted to start playing this card. You know, they're still like $20, $25 a piece, so that's like $75. That's worth more than the whole rest of the deck. So, Terraforming, fetch your field spell. Gates of Darkworld, give your Fiend monsters, or actually all Fiend monsters on the field, an extra 300 attack and defense. And then once per turn, I can banish 1 Fiend in the discard pile. And then as effect, discard a Fiend type, and then also draw 1 card. So again, this helps me reset my hand. I could pitch Grapha, get some plays going. It's not too bad. 2, just because field spells sort of brick, especially in a meta where there's so much back row hate in the extra decks. It's just not that much. It's not that much fun having 3 of it right now. I know in the past it was almost a prerequisite that you played 3 of that and like 1 or 2 terraforming, but whatever. Darkworld Brainwashing is actually one of my favorite cards in this whole build. So when an opponent's monster activates its effect, if you have 3 or more cards in the hand, except during the damage step, you can target a Darkworld monster that you control, return it to the hand, and if you do, the activated effect of the monster card becomes discard 1 random card from the opponent's hand. So doesn't matter what their play was. It could be something as stupid as Elemental Hero Solid Soldier trying to get his special summon a friend from the hand. Or it could be a hand trap like Ash Blossom. And that's why I ran Silva and Gold at 3s and Beige at 2. And honestly, I should have probably put Beige at 3 himself. Because if you had 3 of those characters in your hand already and 1 of them on the field, what's going to happen is your opponent is going to 100% be choosing a Darkworld monster that can place itself back on the field, and you will be able to eliminate every card effect that they have. Now, if they start playing into your Gold or your Silva, you can actually speed up destroying their hand or breaking the board state as you're going. and kind of makes it an underrated thing. And when I go to rebuild Darkworld, I will play test ways to make this the way that I play, and I will make this like a very broken, cool card. I'll probably have Tour Guide and Leviaire in there by then. So I'm looking forward to it, and I just want you guys to know that like this trap is actually a real sleeper for this deck. And then the last card I have is, again, just Hand Trap Killer. Deck Devastation Virus. All of my 5 stars and higher are over 2k. So you tribute a dark monster with 2,000 or more attack power. Check your opponent's hand, all monsters they control, and all cards that they draw until the end of their 3rd turn after this card's activation. All monsters with 1,500 or less attack are destroyed. And that is every hand trap in the game. Unless, of course, you guys are counting Gore's Emissary of Darkness a hand trap. I'm not sure. So, not too much for me to have talked about. I know tomorrow I got to pick some winners for week 4. I did want this fun deck. My teammates have been asking me, can you put together a fun version of Darkworld? I said, yeah, this one's not going to break any like regional tables, but it should actually be a lot of fun. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you did, consider hitting the sub button if you haven't already. And I'll probably see you guys tomorrow when I do a little box opening and tell you guys about the week 4 winners. So see you later.